Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And during the course of the summer, I've been doing a lot of shows on emergency communications and what alternatives we have when we have emergencies, such as hurricanes like we got now. Um, been watching the hurricane for over a week now, slowly come towards Florida. Early on, it was going to hit the east coast of Florida, cut across the state right over to where I live. That has since changed over the week, and now it may not impact Florida at all directly, but it might come very close to the east coast. The the prediction on this particular hurricane has been pretty sketchy. It's really if you follow the track that they've had, it's fairly close. But like I say, a week ago they said it was going to come across the state of Florida. Now they're saying no, it's not going to come across the state of Florida. But anyway, I talked about in the past various ways of communicating during a hurricane, because if you do have heavy winds, the power is going to go out. Your cell phone will probably eventually lose its battery power. You don't have any way to charge it, and the cell phone towers themselves may go down, not physically, but their signal may go down, so you may not have use of a cell phone. If you have a landline, those lines could be destroyed and you lose that. So there are alternate things such as shortwave radios and transceivers, shortwave transceivers. Or let me just show you some other things that I didn't realize that are now available in the amateur radio bands. And my understanding is in emergency, you can operate on the amateur radio bands without a license. Now, only for emergency communications, only. Can't go calling your buddies and chit chat about the storm. All right, let me move the camera over first, and then I'll get my other screen out of the way. That's not a great view, but it'll do. Let me get my camera screen out of the way. Okay, this is the NHC page regarding amateur radio and how to contact people during emergencies. And this is what I didn't realize. Here are the HF frequencies, 20 meters, 40 meters, 80 meters, and I had the 80 meter band on when I started. Here is the Echo Link, another communications possibility if you have the right equipment. Here's VHF, UHF frequencies. See, I didn't realize all these other ones besides HF existed. There's APRS modes you can use. Here's an internet page for the main website if you still have internet access. So there's a lot of good information on this page. I'll cut and paste the link to this page down in the description of this video. Now let me get my webcam control back up so I can swing the camera back around, and we'll see if we can hear anything. Oops, come on camera, stay in place. My little tripod is it's kind of loosey-goosey now. It won't stay where you put it. So anyway, let me turn this back up. Nothing right now. There we go.
Yeah, I'm on the Kenwood today. Good morning. Morning, everybody.
Now these frequencies are designated for hurricane and emergency communications. And so there should not be anybody on there chit-chatting. And it almost sounds like those guys are chit-chatting, but they could be operators, waiting for any emergency traffic and just, communicating amongst themselves. And we turn it back on, listen a little bit more, see what they're saying. Hear what they're saying.
I saw his window sill station while I was down there, Rob. Looked good. Had ALS 600, 897, or 897. Power supply, antenna, the whole 9 yards. I had a hard time finding his antenna, but he showed it to me. Oh, yeah.
Oh. Okay, those guys seem to be chit-chatting. Like I say, maybe they're chit-chatting because they're waiting for any emergency traffic. But you're supposed to keep these emergency frequencies clear for just emergency communications. I don't know what that's about. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything because I don't know. So anyway, if you want to monitor this, say you're, in another part of the world, or you have people, friends or relatives down in the area that could be affected, these are good frequencies to listen to. On HF, and this is single sideband. So if you don't have a radio that can do single sideband, it's going to sound garbled. 80 meters is 3.815, 40 meters is 7.268, and 20 meters is 14.325. And like I say, I'll put the link to this website that has all these frequencies in it in the description below this this video. Like I said earlier, we were pretty worried earlier last week when they said it was going to come across the state, and it had gotten up to 185 miles an hour, which meant most likely if it hit the East Coast at 185, it'd still probably be up 150 or thereabouts by the time it hit the West Coast where we are, which is pretty bad. And I've got a lot of antennas up in the air. So I was putting off, because it's a lot of work and I really can't do it myself. I don't have the strength to do stuff like that myself. So I did get my handyman neighbor who lives across the street. I did get him to get up on the roof and trim some of the trees away from my antennas, because they had actually, over the summer, they have grown over to the area actually touching the antennas. I didn't realize that until I started looking at them this weekend. So he did that for me, and then he had vacation planned to go up north, so he's gone. Again, I'm so grateful that right now they're predicting the storm is not going to hit Florida at all, but go along the coast. So the other thing I could have done, if I was pretty sure it was coming, is I have a big generator, but I store it off-site because it takes up so much room, and I was going to have him go with me to bring it here in case we lost power, which every storm we've had, we've lost power. Last hurricane, we lost power for over a week, and thank goodness we had that generator. So again, I held off on that because it's a big hassle to move, put it on a truck, move it here, set it up. So it's a big hassle, so I'll be ready if I don't need it. And I have other people I know that could help me if the storm decided to come here, and I get it set up within, say 24 hours of the storm hitting, and I'd still be okay. The power company finally this year, after all the power outages we've had, even outages when there wasn't any hurricane, finally came and trimmed all the trees in our neighborhood. So that's going to be a help. Because in the past, even like 25, 35 mile an hour winds would knock all these old oak trees, would knock them down across the power lines you'd lose power. So that's not so bad. So we are doing pretty good right now. Things don't change again. Um, our hearts and prayers go out for those people down in the Bahamas. Oh my gosh. I watched the Weather Channel this morning, and the hurricane is stopped. And it stopped right over the Bahamas. And the winds are down to like 855, which is still huge, and it's just sitting there and pounding them, pounding them, pounding. I really feel sorry for those people, and for the people that are going to get hit coming up. My daughter, one of my daughters, lives in Orlando, and she's still trying to decide whether to come over. And I got a brain cramp here. I can't think of his name. Mike Ladd, who lives on the East Coast, he evaluated about 3 days ago. And so he did a final show saying, I'm signing off and I'm going to be gone for a while because I'm bailing out of this area. So anyway, just some information for you. And we're going to turn this back on for a second, see what we got. Try the other bands, and then we'll call it quits. Okay, here we go. Very weak. The other thing that's unusual this morning is the noise level is way down. Now, it's down for a couple of reasons, and one of them is the fact that I'm listening to single sideband. So if I go to AM, I can do that right now, the noise level will go back up. I'll show you right now. See? That's the beauty of listening to single sideband, is you get that noise level drops down. Also, even on AM, the noise level is about half of what it's been. Now, we've had some really heavy storms even before the hurricane the past 2 days, with just inches of rain just flooding the place. That could have cleaned off the power lines. So the static electricity caused by dust on the power lines could have gone down, cleaned off my antennas, whatever. So that's helped, I know. But I'm going to let you, I keep babbling. Let you listen for a few minutes.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I think it was them baked beans that they had them onions in.
Okay, that's obviously no emergency traffic. So let me try 40 meters, which is 7268. Turn that up.
20 knots, roger, roger. And say again the barrel, over. Understand, 2977, is that right, over? And it is steady, roger, and you're okay, and is it raining now, over? Inches of rain, roger, roger. One more question, Carolyn. Any damage or storm surge, over?
Okay, that's definitely emergency communications. And the other thing they do is the amateur radios will give weather reports, weather conditions at where they're located. So you're getting, and this is real time, so you're getting real time weather information where they're located. Now, I could not hear the station that was broadcasting the weather conditions. I could hear the other gentleman, which is probably a lot closer to me, and he was, I think he was for the most part repeating what the guy was saying. So that's the other thing you can hear. You can actually hear people, giving you status on the conditions where they are. They will normally, if you can hear them, they will normally give their call sign so you can look them up, and then you can determine exactly where they're at. Well, where they could be. Maybe they're not at the location that's in the call book. So I'm going to play this for a few minutes and then we'll call it quits. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. What I might do, I'm now down in my workshop and I got my old computer, so it's limited on what it can do. That's why I'm just using my webcam. But I was thinking about maybe if there's some interest to go back up to my office where I have my better computer and do some streaming on this particular subject. Maybe during, well, right now is a good time, and I say it's a good time. It's not a good time for the people that experience it, but it's a good time for people who are listening to have something to listen to, because that hurricane is stationary in the Bahamas, and the Bahamas, at least for me, is not too far away. Now, if you're, in Australia, yeah, it's going to be a problem. So anyway, I babbled enough. I'll let you listen some more, and then I'll shut it down. Okay, I can't. There's a real weak signal there somewhere. The S meter is down below 1. That's how low the noise level is. I'm in single sideband mode, so you have to have, if you want to listen to this, you have to have a single sideband or a radio capable of single sideband. I'll get it out here in a minute. Or you can go to the website that I'm going to leave the link for you, and there's other frequencies and modes you can listen to, some even on the internet. That's it. Thanks for watching, and be safe. Please be safe. Bye-bye.